sunsets and skies so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave and weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people above it all. We know it all.
Golden hair blazing in the sun's fierce light. A figure stands tall in the dead of night. Shadows crawl, but he doesn't sway. A sentinel guarding the break of day. Words like fire burn through the air. Defender of dreams and the world's despair. Facing storms with an unyielding grin. The fight for truth always starts within. Stand tall, golden hair in the wind. The tides may rise, but we won't give in. Through the chaos, a beacon so bright, leading us all to the edge of the fight. The world quakes as the battle ignites. Through the smoke, he's a vision of might. Foes gather aiming from every side, but he moves with purpose and endless pride. Try to break him with venom and lies, but he soared like an eagle, piercing the skies. A symbol of hope when the night is long. A melody rising, a defiant song. Stand tall, golden hair in the wind. The tides may rise, but we won't give in. Through the
Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, the 2nd of June, 2025. Sad news to report that the violent, domestic, black supremacist, racist assault on white farmers in Brits last week, which was conducted after poisoning their dogs on one night, then stealing the tires from their bakkies so they couldn't escape on another night. At 2 a.m., 5 Tswana-speaking cowards invaded the homes of an elderly couple. A wheelchair-bound man restrained them, then savagely beat them with an antique iron. The gentleman has passed away from his wounds this morning. In a typical cover-up in South African police service, reported this as a house robbery. It wasn't a house robbery. It was trespassing. It was a home invasion. It was breaking and entering. It was assault, aggravated assault with intent to murder. And it was robbery. And now we know it's also a murder. The world must know, folks, what is happening in South Africa. These attacks are stepping up. Another attack occurred near Pretoria last night. The insults, the attacks against white South Africans have been amplified, and the number of black South Africans who are turning out to be racist is becoming distressingly high. I've long thought that it was just a small number of black South Africans who were racist. But the number of incidents is growing by the day, and it's shocking to say the very least. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. The 2nd of June, 2025. Thank you for those who liked that new Trump song. I hope you enjoyed it. Put that together last night, and we debuted it last night, but we didn't really go very far with it. I respectfully ask people who have questions about the refugee program to please keep your questions until after I do the news. It's very disrespectful and rude to interrupt the chat the whole time asking the same questions over and again. I appreciate your interest and your concern, but this is a news program, and if you have the patience to hang around for after the news, I will address some of those questions, all right? Thank you. I appreciate that. For those who would like to help out, there is a Back a Buddy program, and the White Army helped take it yesterday from 17,000 to 31,000 Rand. They were shooting for 35,000 Rand, but now, of course, there'll be funeral expenses. The hospital bills still have to be paid. The wife still has bills to be paid. And, of course, they've been chased off of their property by these domestic terrorists. So if you'd like to help, ladies and gentlemen, the Back a Buddy campaign is open. I and several people donated yesterday, including Rhino Girl, who gave 5,000 Rand. That was incredible. But here it is. Support for elderly farm attack victims in Brits. I've put the link in the chat. You can go to Back a Buddy. That's the man who's now dead. That's their bakkie the wheels were stolen from. 3 wheels, at least, if not all 4, where they broke through the fence. On Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, our beloved family members, an elderly couple living on their farm near Brits, became victims of a horrific farm attack. The man who was wheelchair-bound and his partner were attacked at 2 a.m. when intruders broke into their home. The attackers bound them, severely beat them with an antique iron, and stole several of their possessions, leaving them traumatized and injured. The attack was not random. It appears to have been methodically planned. On May 21st, just days before the home invasion, their guard dogs were poisoned and their tires were stolen from their only vehicle, effectively isolating them and preventing any means of escape or reaching help. The urgent needs, they're without medical aid and insurance, making their recovery especially challenging. The attack has left them not only physically injured, but deeply traumatized and afraid of their own home. Friends, we're listed here for essential security repairs, but I'm not sure what's going to happen now. Those who would like to donate, the link is in the chat. I'll put it there again, folks. This horrific, racist garbage needs to end. Where is the United Nations? Where is the Human Rights Watch? Where is Amnesty International? Where is the European Union? Where are any of these scumbags? They're nowhere. While people are butchered, murdered, tortured, dismembered, raped in their homes, in a place you should feel safe and comfortable in your home. And the government of South Africa covers it up by lying about it. Then telling the world there are no farm murders in South Africa. We heard Cyril Ramaphosa lie to the world. We don't even have to make things up, folks. We just simply use their own words to hoist them on their own petard. Bloomberg News, January 2018, Cyril Ramaphosa. Donald Trump is mistaken. There are no farm murders in South Africa. There are no farm murders. No white farmers have been murdered. How that lie was ever allowed to be gotten away with, I don't understand. Wow. Eli Berserker, you've never been abandoned by me. I reported on this issue in the classified world, the intelligence world, for decades. And as a private citizen, I've reported on openly since then. And I report on the murders of white, black, Indian, colored farmers, not just white farmers. Yes, another farm attack in the Western Cape. I'm aware of that. They're not weekly occurrences, Tractor. They're now turning into daily occurrences. And they're planned and orchestrated. And here's more racist garbage. Expropriating property because Eskom has failed you. So their answer is to take your property. The electric slide minister, Kojisenso Ramakopa at the Copacabana, says another plan to use Expropriation Act to take land in South Africa. Energy Minister Kojisenso Ramakopa is the latest department head to express his intention of using South Africa's new Expropriation Act to take over private land for the state's use. The latest plan is to use expropriation to take land where the Energy Department needs to lay out critical transmission infrastructure and follows similar sentiments from major cities like Johannesburg. I'm sorry. Critical electrical infrastructure, you're installing high-tension power lines in the central business district of Johannesburg, so you're going to expropriate somebody's property that the police and the courts have failed to restore to the rightful owners in your corrupt gangster land? Johannesburg Mayor Dada Marrero said earlier this month the city plans to use the Expropriation Act to repurpose hijacked and abandoned buildings within its centers. Under 100 buildings have been identified, just under. Ramakopa indicated the state plans to lay out transmission lines across several corridors over the next 10 years, some of which pass over private land. Once the plans and process are underway, the government will look to expropriate in the public interest. If it comes to expropriation, we will do that. The law says we can do it. No, there's nothing to see here. No one's land is being taken. There's been no major land occupations, no major thefts. What a crock. What a total crock. What a total crock. South Africa is a gangster state. It's a gangster state. At least one piece of rule of law has come into play after the illegitimate appointment of John Schlope to the Judicial Service Commission, impeached corrupt former judge, impeached, and then put on the Judicial Service Commission as part of the Mkhonto we Sizwe party. What a clown car show South Africa has become. An embarrassment to Africa. Western Cape High Court finds that former Judge President John Schlope unfit to serve in the Judicial Service Commission. Its consequentiality set aside decision by the National Assembly last July to endorse the recommendation of this moron to have him serve as one of the 6 parliamentarians on this committee. Western Cape High Court has found its former judge, John Schlope, to be neither fit nor proper to serve in the Judicial Service Commission. The matter was heard in February before a full bench of judges from outside the division after the court previously granted interdict in favor of the Democratic Alliance, Freedom Under Law and Corruption Watch, preventing Schlope from participating in the work of the commission pending this matter. In a judgment handed down today, the court said that the National Assembly had fundamentally misunderstood the nature of its powers to designate members to serve in the body that interviews candidates to become judges. The court says that while it does not dispute arguments made by the MK party that Schlope is highly qualified, his removal from the bench on charge of gross misconduct is the issue. This, the court says, seriously threatens the independence of the judiciary. Dr. Schlope's academic ability does not cure his corruption. A small victory for the rule of law. South African universities are seeking 2 billion rand from the South African government. But we don't need America. We don't need America. No, we don't need America. But now we can't do research because the Americans have been funding all our research while we insult America and call them racist. But now we need money. Yeah, there is no money. Go begging elsewhere. Go ask China for money. Go ask China. China. Martin Williams Bernard, am I still block? Block what? Blockhead? You're not block. You're chatting. According to an annexure of the report by the University of South Africa, a total of $1.4 billion in funding is outstanding in 13 universities. U.S. aid freeze has compromised research outcomes, postgraduate support, and health services, potentially triggering a public health crisis and social instability. Wits said 45 contracts were terminated. But, if they don't give us the aid, we won't give them minerals. Great Mandasha. If they don't give us the aid, we won't give the minerals. Dude, we're still buying the minerals. What was your point? Empty threat. Because if you turn off the mineral tap, then the grifter money that your black empowerment corrupt companies who stole the mining industry from the mining indabas won't make any money. So you're not going to do that. Great Mandasha. Yes, if they turn off the aid, we'd turn off the minerals. Well, we turned off the aid, and now your university research programs are nosediving and collapsing. But we don't need the Americans. No. We don't need them. So we'll just call them racist all day long and lie about them. Yes. Speaking of lying about Americans and lying about America, Justice Malala comes out with a comical, ridiculous, asinine op-ed in the Times Live. As a black South Africa, this is heartbreaking. People need to be held accountable. It's sad the government is not promoting unity. Anonymous, thank you for the 100 Rand. And as I said, I never realized there were this many black racists in South Africa. Most black people are good people. Many are God-fearing Christians, some God-fearing Muslims, and a couple are God-fearing Jews. But most black South Africans are good people. They are not this lot. But these attacks on white South Africans are picking up while the government stands by and does nothing. By the way, it's not a black government. The government has white members of the ANC, white members of the DA, white members of Freedom Front Plus, white members of the IFP. All these major parties have white members, so it's not a white issue. They have colored members. They have Indian members. Not many. But this government is failing to protect South Africans. Thank you for your super chat, Anonymous. And Gary Buchner, thank you for your 350 Rand super chat as well. Thank you for that. Justice Malala, another race-hustling op-ed in South Africa, lying about Donald Trump. Lying. Isn't that funny? South Africa now needs a robust strategy across the world to push back against these lies. Fixing damage caused by white genocide lies won't be easy. There's a proverb in the Setswana language that he wishes he could translate properly, but he doesn't think he can. Literally, it means you cannot take back or retract words you have uttered against someone. A pointed finger gesture can, however, be retracted. The important part of the expression is that words matter. Words uttered and words amplified matter. Indeed, they do. Like kill the Boer, Justice Malala. Words matter. But they deny that when it comes to kill the Boer. But apparently a flag, the Union flag, the Union of the Boer Republics and the British colonies in the Union of South Africa Act 1910, when the flag was created, apparently is a racist symbol. It's not even a word. Words do matter. Words amplified do matter. Once released in the world, words are incredibly difficult to recall or erase, like kill the Boer. People are made by words we utter. Indeed, racist murderers. And people are broken by words released in the world. Indeed, Justice Malala, but you don't recognize kill the Boer, do you? Words uttered thoughtlessly can break people, businesses, governments. Words chosen carefully can save reputations, avert wars, and build empires. True. Over the past week, he's attended several events in New York, and these events have cut across class, race, age, and gender. All of them have brought home to me just how much damage has been done to South Africa by the thoughtless, racist, white supremacist, utterly false allegations that there is a white genocide in South Africa when there is patently none taking place. Once again, who is mentioning genocide? Leftist hate wankers. Justice Malala is the one perpetrating and propagating the term white genocide. They're the ones doing it. They're using it to lie about what's happening in South Africa. You see, what people are trying to do is avert a genocide here. They're trying to prevent one from happening. That's what's happening here. So these lies, whipped up and fanned in South Africa and internationally by utterly shameless, cynical, and unethical organizations such as AfriForum Solidarity, have been transmitted to dimwits like the American broadcaster Tucker Carlson, who has, like a faithful dog, then placed them at the feet of U.S. President Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson has nothing to do with the current situation. He's not even covering these stories. What are you talking about? Speaking of dimwits, Justice Malala, your race hustling, your vile, your vitriol, your bile, your disgusting hatred of whites and other racial minorities is beyond the pale. And your dishonesty is shocking, to say the very least. Shocking, to say the very least. You're calling them racist. For what? Telling the truth? 2 weeks ago, armed with these lies, the most powerful man in the world ambushed South African President Cyril Ramaphosa with pictures from the DRC and a misleading video that claimed that there was evidence of the deaths in South Africa. Actually, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're using half-truths, and that's a lie. Acts of omission are lies. The story with an image from the Congo was a story about the security situation in Africa with a focus in the story on South Africa. And of course, the top story was a white woman beaten savagely in a farm attack the previous week when I was in South Africa, and it made the headlines, one of the few stories. So Justice Malala, you're a liar and you are lying to the world. Now, what else did you say? Misleading video. Claim was evidence of deaths in South Africa. And he quotes deaths. It is evidence. Every one of those crosses had a name on it. Every one of them is a white South African murdered on a farm. Men, women, and children. Young and elderly. Infants. There's no claim. There's no deaths. These are deaths. These are murders. And you're a disgraceful human being. Despicable human being. Bev, thank you for the 140 Rand super chat. Appreciate that. Sorry, guys, I'm not catching these as they come up because I'm reading the news. The point is that these lies of non-existent white genocide were uttered in the White House. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They were. You're right. They were. They were uttered by two South African reporters, not by Donald Trump. You lying sack of horse manure. Donald Trump never said it. Two questions came up. One question, President Trump, do you still believe there's a white genocide in South Africa? To which, what did Donald Trump say? I'm not convinced of that. And then the other from Annika Larson, the stage question that was clearly prepared in collusion between the media and the Ramaphosa delegation. Mr. President, what will it take to get President Ramaphosa to convince you that there isn't a white genocide? I'll take this question. Shut up, Trump. It's my show now. The cuddly teddy bear answered the question and dug his own grave. The only people that said genocide in that meeting were South African reporters. South African reporters, Justice Malala. You lie, you lie, you lie. Report across the globe by leftists like you who fictionized and made the whole thing up. From Moscow to Beijing, from Havana to Sao Paulo, from Maputo to Cairo, the world was watching. And the world heard the most powerful man in the world lie to the world there's white genocide. He never said that. You are the liar. You are the liar. You're lying in print. This is libel. You are misleading people intentionally. Trump didn't say genocide. Watch the video. The problem for this, Justice, is we have the video. People who aren't dim-witted, people who aren't outright racist, people who are not collusionary in the cover-up can watch the video for themselves, unaltered. It's available, widely available. Donald Trump did not say white genocide. He did not. You said it. And your two South African reporters said it, not Donald Trump. Unbelievable. Wow. For the next decade, I expect South Africans to be confronted by these lies wherever they travel in the world. They should be confronted by the lies that you're telling, Justice Malala. Well, the N3 was backed up by misbehaving truck drivers today in South Africa, folks. Severe delays on N3 toll route due to truck blockade. Motorists advised to avoid the area. Look at this. Motorists were urged to brace for delays and exercise caution when traveling along the N3 toll route near Wright's interchange with roadside in the Free State. A total road closure caused by a blockade of trucks, The obstruction reported early today appears to be part of an orchestrated action that has resulted in severe traffic disruption in both directions. Why? Why did this happen? Well, it's clear now. It reopened after truck driver blockade. Police spokesman Warrant Officer Mamako Moporing said police found stationary trucks on both sides of the road, the drivers indicating they did not have the keys. When they started calling tow trucks, the drivers started to move their trucks. They should arrest every one of them. These are domestic terrorists. These are domestic terrorists. slowing commerce, harming people. There may be life-saving medicine in some of those vehicles trying to get to a pharmacy that someone can get it. And these are domestic terrorists. These truck drivers, domestic terrorists. They should be arrested and charged with terrorism. Zenobia Golden gave 140 round super chat. Well, folks, we don't have time to accurately report on the brutal slaying of a Brits farmer in Northwest this past week who was murdered. And the crime was listed not as attempted murder or now murder, but as a house robbery. But the South African government, which had the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, is still obsessively prosecuting the Craddock Four. And perhaps they should prosecute the Craddock Four. What happened to those guys was horrific. But what happens to everyone else matters just as much. The Craddock Four brutal murders were calculated and premeditated, just like this week's murder of a Brits farmer. 4 anti-apartheid activists, Matthew Gonwe, Fort Kalada, Sparrow Monconto, Cecilio Mahaule, were abducted and murdered by apartheid security forces in 1985. 1985. We have a murder that occurred this morning. Sorry, Skuman, thank you for the 140 rand super chat. Watch and see what the autopsy says. They'll blame it on something, not on the assault. Yes, I'm aware, Stucky, that roadblocks by truck drivers are a common problem. The police don't do anything. That's the problem. If they start arresting them as domestic terrorists, then it will change. Jacob Zuma is angry that Ramaphosa went to the U.S. His South Africa's problems can't be fixed by outsiders. Well, that's unfortunate because they can't be fixed by South Africans. They created the problems. South Africa is collapsing because of South Africans, not because of outsiders. So if outsiders can't fix the problems, then South Africa is doomed. The body of a missing Johannesburg schoolgirl, Lekona Fossa, found in the veld. 14-year-old grade 8 pupil at Bromfisherville is understood to have lived with her grandmother. She went missing on Saturday, and her mutilated body was found in the veld at Durban Deep Roodepoort. This girl was murdered. Does she matter? Thank you, Beth. Does she matter? Will it even be reported as a murder? Well, the communists in South Africa say you don't need Starlink. You can get the Chinese system. But you're not going to make the Chinese give up their equity to black folks. Starlink is not the only option for South Africa, says Portfolio Committee Chair Zwandile Masina. Yes, the chairperson, Portfolio Committee on Trade, Industry, and Competition, has rejected what he's described as an unfounded argument that Starlink is the only option for South Africa. He's a member of the ANC's NEC and other communists. He wrote in the party's weekly newspaper that the narrative was not supported by evidence. He said the report think tank Secure World Foundation published in April showed several countries were investing in the development of their own counter space capabilities. Counter space? Excuse me? Starlink is not a counter space. Starlink is a communications platform, not counter space. Wow, so you want to help the Chinese develop space-based weapons. That's what you want to do. Wow, he said China had developed several initiatives to create satellite internet constellations that compete with Starlink, including projects such as Guoang and Guinfan. Yes, of course you want to help the Chinese take over the world because you are their willing lapdogs. Well, a magistrate court judge stops a Sangoma from admitting that he committed murder, protecting the murderer. Magistrate stops a Sangoma from confessing to killing a toddler during dramatic court appearance. A Sangoma who was arrested in connection with the disappearance and murder of a toddler told a packed Vanderbilt Park Magistrates Court on Monday that he wanted to plead guilty. The 50-year-old told the court he wanted to plead guilty to premeditated murder and human trafficking. But Magistrate Michael Tale immediately warned him that it was not appropriate time for him to do so. This is not the stage and the time to make your statement. We haven't reached that stage. You are here today for legal representation. You will inform your lawyer what you intend to do. Again, your matter will not be heard in this court. Thank you for your becoming a member. AI Creators, thank you for 150 Rand. So a murderer wanted to confess in a court of law. Thank you for the membership. And you have blocked them from confessing. What the hell kind of justice is this? And speaking of justice, am I guilty of anything? Well, yes, you are, buddy. You are guilty. You are very guilty. What an idiot. This guy's a clown. Philip Sobole Masango, the 28-year-old Cape Town man, appeared in Cape Town Magistrates Court charged with threatening President Ramaphosa and Mayor Jordan Hill Lewis. Am I guilty of anything? Was the question posed by the 28-year-old idiot. Why are my attorneys not here? He asked during procedures. I don't know. Why are your attorneys not there, dingbat? Magistrate Alida Thurt explained the matter was still under investigation. In the meantime, you're in custody. The attorney must come on record and a bail application must come forward and then a trial, so it takes time. How long is it going to take? And then the judge said, I don't know. 2 months ago, he was a guest on the podcast called Tech Mark Pod. He was referenced as a tech innovator. Yeah, well, he also threatened the president. Not a good move. So you see in South Africa, it is illegal to threaten the President of the Republic, but not threaten the President of the United States. Joseph Malema remains free, not charged with a crime despite threatening the President of the United States. Let's take a look at the Back a Buddy program and see what's happening if anybody's given $30,508. But when we started, it's now at $34,000. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much. Karen Long gave, Ernst, Madeline, Vilma Fenter. So 34,600, just 392 rand short of the goal, but probably need a lot more money than that. But anyway, so there you go, folks, just short of the goal. And the sad news today is, of course, the gentleman has died. Strawberries are not natural to Africa, but wait till one day when Africans claim that they came from Africa. Strawberries aren't ripe for Africa. His farms disprove that deliciously. Tierno Agne left behind studying law to grow strawberries, a shocking move in Senegal, where farming is considered work for the old, poor, and uneducated. His success is making profession sexy. Well, congratulations. That's him in the foreground. There's just one problem with it. The only reason he's making money is because I'm paying for it. That's right, the U.S. taxpayer. So here's a strawberry field growing in sand, which is actually pretty conducive to strawberries. His company called Fraise, which is French for strawberry. He says they want to demystify the idea that strawberries are not for Africans. They can be grown here, sold here, especially our kids can enjoy them. But his mission just got harder because I'm not paying for it anymore. Until recently, he received support from the USAID to hire seasonal staff and train people to expand strawberry production. So his business is only making money because the American taxpayer is subsidizing it. Well, Iran demands that sanctions be removed if they want to continue with nuclear talks. Iran is demanding the United States clarify exactly how sanctions will be lifted if the two sides are able to reach an agreement in Tehran's nuclear program. Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesman Esmail Bagai said the comments on Monday, days after the U.S. submitted what it described as an acceptable proposal. Unverified reports claim Iran sees the offer as a non-starter and is preparing to reject it. Of course they're going to reject it because why? They're enriching uranium. Classified International Atomic Agency Energy Report found that Iran, since February, has produced 300 pounds of uranium enriched to 60%, one step away from weapons-grade uranium. So while the United States negotiates in good faith, Iran enriches uranium behind the scenes. I think it's time that Israel attacks Iran. Wait, it's coming. South Korea's presidential hopefuls are going to vote. The competing candidates to replace Yoon Suk Yeol was ousted have been making their final pitches. That baby doesn't look happy. Lee Yang-mung, a candidate for the Democratic Party, takes a selfie with a supporter at a polling station. Two candidates, Lee Yang-mung and Kim Moon-soo, who are hoping to become South Korea's next president, are making their final pitches ahead of voters for tomorrow's election. Today, they crisscross the country with varying promises to revive the economy and steer the far eastern nation out of months of political turmoil sparked by the failed attempt to impose martial law, which was legal, and then they overthrew him. China says Trump's claims of tariff violations are baseless. Yeah, groundless. U.S. and China are accusing each other of reneging their trade tariff stance. China Monday said the Trump administration accusations that it had broken the terms of a trade war truce by holding back key materials were groundless, saying the United States, in fact, is the one who seriously damaged this. I say just shut down all trade from China. We can do without poisoned pet food. We don't need any more of our pets. Thousands of pets murdered by the Chinese by pouring ethyl glycol into our pet food. Remember that 15 years ago? I haven't forgotten that. They murdered thousands of our pets. Yep. Nationalist has been elected in Poland. Good news for Poland. Yes, in a tight election. The victory of Karol Nawrocki, who was backed by a previous right-wing governing party, will complicate Prime Minister Donald Tusk's efforts to advance his liberal agenda. It'll stop his nonsense. Nationalist, who's hostile to Poland's centrist government, eked out a narrow win in a runoff election for presidency. He got 50.9% of the vote on Sunday, adding momentum to a right-wing populist movement in Europe. Trump endorsed Nawrocki. Yeah, became ahead of the mayor of Warsaw, who had 49.1%. So there you go, folks. There you go. That should stop the financing of the Russian conflict in Ukraine. Well, big merger in the UK between Three and Vodafone. Vodafone completes a Three UK mega merger to form a new force in mobile market. Mobile phone giant said the merger of the UK network business officially completed May 31st, 2 years after it was first announced. Vodafone 3, now the biggest mobile phone network in the UK, has 27 million customers, pledged to invest £11 billion over the next 10 years to boost its 5G capability. That's a drop in the bucket, folks. That's £1.1 billion per year, $1.5 billion. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's nothing. That's what they're investing per year. That's a drop in the bucket for telecommunications infrastructure. That should be standard. And they make it like it's a big deal. Under Europe, the State Department is talking about the erosion of democracy and natural rights, and they're correct to do it. It's about time that someone's called them out. The dramatic shift has puzzled European officials who note the Trump administration itself has been accused of breaching democratic norms by leftist Europeans who are lying. Trump hasn't breached any norms. In recent days, Trump officials made a series of head-spinning moves, signaling the foreign policy shift that's underway with the State Department leading the charge. The administration intends to establish a new office within the department that is focused on natural rights and what officials characterize as free speech backsliding. Yep, because they've been punishing Americans, so they're going to pay the price. Donald Trump says, not backing off the tariffs, not backing off. No signs of retreat. Even as U.S. courts question the legitimacy of his tariffs, the president is showing no signs of backing off his favorite trade tool. Actually, the courts aren't questioning the legitimacy of his tariffs. They're questioning the legitimacy of his use of a 1977 Emergency Powers Act by declaring a national emergency. He has the right to place tariffs under the Constitution and under federal law. So that's not what the courts are discussing. They're discussing his use of a 1977 law. So once again, the New York Times misleads the reader. U.S. announcing visa restrictions on those who silence Americans abroad, like Bolsonaro's government. Not Bolsonaro, but what they did to Bolsonaro. U.S. announces free visa restrictions. Secretary of State said Americans have been fined, harassed, and even charged by foreign authorities for exercising their free speech rights. For too long, Americans have been fined, harassed, and even charged by foreign authorities. Brazil blocked X in 2024, and now they'll pay the price. How you Brits doing for you there, buddy? How you Brits? The suspect in the Boulder, Colorado attack, the illegal criminal alien Muslim fanaticist, Palestinian supporter, murderous, racist, bastard, anti-Semitic piece of human filth, has been now charged with murder, which means that this scumbag murdered elderly Jews. A man who used a flamethrower to attack a group in Boulder, Colorado, was advocating for the release of hostages being held by Hamas, has been charged with first-degree murder. They have not released how many people he killed. Happened 1:30 in the afternoon yesterday. Mohammed Sabri Suleiman, arrested at the scene and treated at a hospital for minor injuries, was charged with murder in the first degree and other charges. The suspect, age 45 and from El Paso County. No, he's from Egypt. He's here illegally. His bail was set at $10 million. Wow. The Colorado attacker is in the U.S. illegally. Egyptian citizen who stayed in the United States after his tourist visa expired in 2023. 8 people injured, including at least 1 fatality. So another criminal alien invader murdering Americans. While Ron Johnson of Wisconsin is trying to make a name for himself, the three-term Republican senator is not budging on the big, beautiful bill. Ron Johnson says legislation reducing taxes and cutting Medicaid does too little to rein in deficit spending. And he's correct. He's correct. I'm saying things that people need to know. People need to be said, the 70-year-old said. The kid who just exposed that the king is butt naked may not be real popular because he kind of made everybody else look like fools, but they all recognize he was right. Ron Johnson, you're not the kid that exposed everyone. I've already been demonizing this bill since the moment it was published. You think you're just alone. You're just an attention seeker, Ron Johnson. Tulsa mayor, another attention seeker, wants to have $100 million in reparations for the 1921 Tulsa race riot. Yes. Proposed trust focuses on economic recovery, education, and housing 105 years after the riots. Tulsa's first black mayor proposed creating a $100 million private trust. Mayor Monroe Nichols, the fourth elected mayor in November, says the trust will be used to provide scholarships and housing to the descendants of those impacted by the massacre. For 104 years, Tulsa race massacre has been a stain in our city's history. And so people who moved to Tulsa have to pay for the crimes of people 100 years ago? No. This racism needs to stop. This racism needs to stop. Utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. Well, to the 1,530 people still here for the broadcast, thank you for being here. 817 likes is all we've gotten. 817 likes. Can't we do better than that? Sue Walsh watched the NOTA discussion earlier. It was good, refreshing, proactive instead of reactive. Oh, did you watch mine? I went first. Did you watch mine? I went first. Where's my check from King Charles? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Patrick. Johnson mine, if it doesn't do enough to reduce deficit, then we should do nothing. Exactly, caustic chameleon. 100% agreed. I don't like the law. I don't like the bill, but it's a step in the right direction. Extremists will now be able to register as political parties. Yes, I'm aware of that. He is a wanted, known terrorist who's been sanctioned by the United States, and South Africa has refused to extradite him to the U.S. It's only been unreported for decades. Rape is only added once a conviction is reached, not when it happens. Exactly, Patches. I've been reporting that as well. Just hit 35,000 goal. Oh, we did? We hit 35,000? Okay, cool. Let's see. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for helping with that. Yeah, I'm not in the habit of raising money for people, but these are people I knew directly, so it's really unfortunate. Yep. So thank you guys. 35,000. He's passed away, sadly. I don't want to blow our own horn. Never will. Saw that refugee burn U.S. flag, let alone attack people. Huh? Yes, the meeting in the Oval Office is filmed, so they can lie about all they want with their evil platforms, but it doesn't change the truth. Just like Charlottesville, when Trump called out both sides, and then they clipped the video intentionally lying about Trump. Just like on January 6th, when Trump held a presser in the White House and the media refused to cover it, so he went on to Twitter and told people to go home and obey the law and stop going in the Capitol building. But then they hid that, and then they impeached him when he wasn't even president, which is illegitimate. The only remedy, the only recourse in an impeachment is to remove someone from office. Donald Trump couldn't be removed from office because he wasn't in office. It was a show trial of epic proportion. The Democrats are evil, violent, disgusting, vile, repulsive, treasonous bastards, almost to a man and woman these days. They were even nice enough to give him medical support. Yeah, exactly. Given a work visa by the Biden regime, even though he was here illegally, overstayed his tourism visa. No, Veroshka, it's more than 150 likes. The problem is your page has to refresh. Irwin, was this Irwin? Sorry. Why am I not getting updates here? Irwin says, you are literally the only person who talks truth regarding the refugee admission program. I'm very happy for the people who were accepted. Good luck to all who applied. Well, thank you, Irwin. I'm also probably the only person who talks honestly about the farm attacks that's not in South Africa. But Alex Jones thinks that Joel Pollak is the most reliable authority on South Africa. So I guess that's where we should go, is to Joel Pollak and Breitbart, which didn't cover South Africa's issues until Joel Pollak wanted to become ambassador. Now he's paying attention. Should be a newsreader. Well, Vicky, I don't know about that. Is your like finger frozen? Companies are scrambling, so high-skilled jobs are still filled by white people. I don't know for how long. Chris turns his back on the Stormers and starts supporting real team Sharks. Nope, wrong dirt bin. Didn't turn my back on the Stormers. Still a Stormer. Still a Stormer. You make me go get my jersey, I'll go put it on right now. There's one right there, and there's a polo over there. No, I will root for the Bulls this weekend because they're the best team, and they're the most reliable team, and I want South Africa to win the championship again. That Munster victory still burns my shorts badly from the second season. And last year it burns it even more because of the stupid decision not to kick a penalty. Yep. Refuse to get my company be compliant. I've lost some work from large corporates. However, I feel it's time to make a stand against racist system. I agree with you, Venom. Do you think we'll soon see the fall of the EU? And I don't know. I think the EU is entrenched. I don't think it's going anywhere. As long as scumbag leftists control Germany and France, the EU is going nowhere. We don't have Vodafone. No, we don't do that, Helen Troy. That's British and South African stuff. We don't have Vodafone or Vodacom. But we have mobile phone carriers, lots of them. Verizon, T-Mobile. We used to have Sprint, but now they're T-Mobile. America will sanction the country till the ANC is gone, which is never, so they'll sanction the country to death. Sunshine greeting from Zanzibar. Wow, living in Zanzibar. Royal subscriber. Do you mean royal or mean loyal? You're royal. Oh, thank you, Royal. Irwin. Irving Ferguson. Do you mean loyal? Zanzibar, yes, where they throw acid on beautiful young English white girls because they're racist. Yes. Been to Zanzibar. Brutally oppressive humidity. Love the nutmeg and the spice places. Pretty cool. Eastern Europe does not want the useless diversity that Western countries have. Yep. Chinese will eat anything in the sky except an airplane, anything in the sea except a ship, and anything on the ground except a car. South Africa is going down the drain. It is Jacques Leroux, sadly. If South Africa supplied uranium to Iran, I don't know that South Africa has uranium to supply, unless you're talking about the enriched uranium that was from the bombs that was supposedly turned over. But I don't know. What uranium do they have? If it happens, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Just watch Ronaldo stream. Looks like we'll all have to come to America. I didn't know Ronaldo was on. So Ronaldo was just on? News to me. Okay, well, I guess he won't be on after this then. There's nowhere for me to send anybody when I'm done. So now Ronaldo's going before me? What's he up to? What's he up to? I'm getting 5-year-old Ronaldo videos recommended to me here. No, he's scheduled for one. Oh, he must have had a prepared view. Government wants to fire you based on race and gender. Oh, that one. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Okay, he is on after this. Okay, so he's on after this. Okay, what else we got here in the chat? Thank you all for being here. Be sure to hit the alert. Be sure to hit the like button. SpaceX built a massive rocket factory in 6 months. Yes, and Solidarity built a technical school under budget, on time, finished it early, and it's beautiful. They've also built building a university, and now they're building a campus for it. Told by a car guard that Cyril's a hero. The ANC's the best party, and why don't I leave and go to America? Sorry, I'm reading some of these comments. Yano Thrawn, thank you for the 70 Rand. I don't know if I saw that one. Clarence Keene, everybody in the program is America, and President Trump does not negotiate with terrorists. Neither will negotiate with nothing. Yep. Okay. Jane Smith, I'm so sick of the words apartheid and racism, just a scapegoat for stupidity on unruly people who are too lazy to work, rather steal everything. Yep, I think you're right about that. Okay, now I'm caught up with the chat. Erwin Vertvin, that's what your name was. Thank you for that. Couldn't read it. It didn't come up before. Okay, now let me catch up on the chat here. Mariska's here. Hey, Mariska. Eat your rice. Okay, we're catching up here, folks. I'll take questions now. We finished the news. 93,300 subscribers. Yeah, we're not there. We still got a ways to go. By the way, folks, a number of people who are former South Africans, they're now American citizens, and others in the United States Americans have been approaching me to help. What I'm going to do is create some kind of community for those who want to help South African refugees outside of what the government does. So I will be announcing that sometime this week, later this week. So if you've been in touch with me via email and you're in the United States and you have a job offer, like someone in Houston wants to offer jobs for South Africans coming over, be patient. I'll put something together and you can contribute there, okay? But we've got to do this in a smart fashion because it'll be attacked by racists. So we have to be ready for that, even though the program will be open to blacks, whites, and browns. Caught up with Substack. Thank you for all your efforts. You're welcome, Werner Durand. Thank you for catching up and catch them all. I was in Australia, and Australia had Professor Lowe on and said, what did he say? He said, what is the beginning and end of Afrikaners? I have no idea. This Professor Lowe, I heard him on another video. He's an idiot. Yeah, Mike Radio, Germany should pay nothing. Mon Dog Dragon Gaming. What's going on, man? Donation for Bulls flag for the Colonel. I have a Bulls flag, thank you. And I used it in the game Saturday. You must not have watched Rugby Ascendant. We had a small crowd. This weekend was very disappointing. I understand why. I haven't broadcast in the whole time I was gone to South Africa. Plus, there were no games for 2 weeks to me broadcast. So it's been 6 weeks since I did a rugby broadcast, and everybody abandoned me. Nobody, not everybody, some of you were there, but I mean, the biggest audience we had was 250. I mean, I have 15, 20,000 people, 100,000 people tune in for those things, and we only had a few thousand people show up for them. And they missed out because the Sharks game was epic. The first half sucked, buttermilk, but the second half was amazing. Thanks for telling us the truth and guiding us. I'm not guiding anybody to leave, Dana. I'm just helping people with the facts. As a white South African with a family of 5, I'm worried that I have not been persecuted enough to be selected as a refugee as my family has been physically attacked. Well, just chill. Okay, why are you listening to the fake news media? Why are you listening to the fake news media? So you got to stop listening to fake news. You don't have to have been attacked. You don't have to be a farmer. You don't have to be white. Folks, I'm going to do this again, and I'm not going to lose my patience because people's feelings were hurt yesterday, and they left. Oh, chill, man. Oh, don't raise your voice. You hurt my feelings. My vagina hurts. Yeah, that's what they were saying yesterday. So, terrible people. All right, so U.S. Embassy. All right. And there must be a lot of people going to right now because it's very slow. This is very slow. I can't get to the U.S. Embassy website. There's so many people jamming it right now. I wonder how many of them are real. Some are probably fake. So here you go. So you don't have to be a farmer. You don't have to be white. You don't even have to be an Afrikaner. You must be a South African national of Afrikaner ethnicity, be a member of a racial or a member of a racial minority in South Africa, and able to articulate a past experience of persecution or fear of future persecution. If I was a white South African, I would say, well, I couldn't go to school. At the bursary, I was denied. I lost my job. Here's 100+ laws. Dude, just chill. If you want to go, submit your statement of interest. It doesn't even have to say a well-founded fear of persecution. The law normally says a well-founded fear. You don't even have to produce a well-founded fear. They're going to prove people, man. Documentary about the enriched uranium storage, how it was broken into a few years ago. I think there is even a movie. I haven't seen that. Werner van der Merwe. Okay, got that one already. Thanks for being here for us. Heavy is the crown, but God bless you for being determined. Thank you very much, Sigma. Wow, Chris, you do so much for the poor car guards. It's actually a godsend. Thank you, Michelle Mulster. Sedgefield's here. Altz is here. Chris Ehlers. There's some people I missed earlier, some OGs. Con de Bruyne. Colonel, in your experience, let's say that Thanos snapped his fingers and most whites, Indians, and colors are no longer there. Well, if there were no whites, coloreds, and Indians in South Africa will collapse. There'll be mass hunger. The infrastructure will disappear. Yeah. Because it's not the cultural norm of far too many people in South Africa to actually do what needs to be done. Yeah. That doesn't mean black South Africans can't do the things. It just means there's too many people that aren't and have no desire. The culture of expectation and entitlement is so nauseating. It's even worse than America, where it's pretty bad. Elite, thank you for the condolences. No, I don't think the attacker's going to get away with it, folks. See, what you don't know is I know people. All right? And while the police falsely reported what happened, they were forced now to look at the case more closely. This I can confirm. In addition, there are people on the case who are very good at finding the culprits. Excuse me. Very good success rate of finding these sort of criminals. So don't presume that they'll get away with it. See, that's the problem when you attack people I know. Might be useful to add links to your other channels in all your descriptions. Yaku Field, that's actually a good idea. Thank you for that. I didn't mean that as a surprise. I just hadn't thought about it. Just so busy. Mzanzi loves can. What kind of can? Saw this article on Iowa. Yaku Kleinan saying Saudi is aware. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if he's misquoted. I read the article, 8,000. The only figure we have is Marco Rubio said 70,000 in Senate testimony. It's the only figure we have. Why are black people so upset about the white South Africans minorities leaving? Well, most black people aren't. Most people are brokenhearted. Francois de Jaeger, 14 Rand. Thank you for that. Enriched uranium was kept Palindaba. That's not spelled right. Palabora. You mean Palabora? People are too sensitive, Tian. Your feelings are hurt. Your feelings are hurt. Video about what attorney, Yolandi? What attorney? What are you talking about? Ronaldo's video about an attorney. I don't know what you're talking about. You mean the mangina's hurt? Yeah, I guess that's right. Pig Daddy RSA became a member. Thank you for that. Okay. Rhino Girl's ready to help. We're here for each other. Time to stand together, not split hairs. Exactly. Total spiral downward into the abyss. Did someone give out more memberships? They sure did. Thanks for, what's this? Sorry, my chat jumped, folks. It really is annoying. So I'm trying to catch where I was at. Yeah, Android Megatech, that's not an accurate statement. I don't know where Kleinhens gets that from because Marco Rubio said last week 70,000 last week, heads of households. So it's obviously that much. Wesley de Clark, you're welcome, Just Chill. If you have any desire whatsoever, you can always turn it down. You can go through the process and not leave. You're wasting other people's time, but if you think you're going to leave, you want to leave, then do it. Martin Fundamental, you're hurt. I hurt their nipples. Yeah. Please see Americaners next. They have a document with all the info in each state. Have you noticed YouTuber Daniel Maritz? He also had a great show on a situation. No, don't know who that is. No, James Bowie, Rob Herself has not put me in touch with Dave Rubin. He did put me in touch with John Solomon and with Laura Logan, neither of whom have returned my messages. But it was a weekend. Yeah, neither has. Cyril says, your show is awesome. Thank you for that. Very thankful for the program, but I'm scared of going alone. I wouldn't be scared, Bill. What are you scared of? Nothing to be scared of. As former SAPS captain, stage commander, I can confirm that everything Chris has put out is 100% accurate. Thank you for that, Gary Buchner. Yeah, it is accurate. And thank you for confirming it. Now, we caught them red-handed. We've caught them red-handed. And they can lie and they can scheme and they can try to cover up. But, I mean, this is a perfect, and it's not a mistake. It was an attempted murder. Now the man is dead. He was murdered. So this is red-handed. I mean, we caught them red-handed. So I'm just trying to find the image I saved because I had to protect identities. So there it is. Okay, I'll put this on the screen. We've caught them red-handed. It's just the robbery report here from SAPS. The names are hidden to protect the identity. Okay, so here you go. There you go. Home invasion, trespassing, burglary, attempted murder, torture. And this is filed as house robbery. See that? House robbery. House robbery. They didn't even put the correct date on it. It just says May 2025. House robbery. It's not a house robbery. It was murder. And it was domestic terrorism. That's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. So they've been called out and they've been caught. Yeah, Christo, I know. That's a report from BizTech or somebody like that. A number of people are going to lose their jobs. Yep. Bill, you're not alone. Who's Bill? Oh, Bill Ding. Okay. Some people are freaking out because Solidarity's latest posts. Well, okay, then they're idiots. That's my recommendation to them, Virtual Western Cape. They're morons. Why are they listening to Solidarity? What has Solidarity gotten right about this? Look, I'm not attacking Solidarity, but what have they gotten right about this? What have they gotten right? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing they said has been right about this program. Yeah, exactly. Kill the Boer automatically. You have a fear of persecution. Someone's going to murder you because they're saying kill whites. Yeah. Corporate companies out there getting rid of most qualified person and replacing with incompetent people. Oregon have illegal driver's license and voting rights. They do. So does Maryland. Candace, Rhino Girl, and I am a woman. How do we come together to make a stand? Rhino Girl is in the Middle East, so I'm not sure how she can help you there. She's in a different place. Sally Muller, Peter Groenewald have all the info on the murders. Yep. Jacques Brudrick is on the case, but that's not who I'm talking about. I've got someone else on top of it. Someone else that's very good at what they do. Question that I don't know if it's a good or bad question. If we already filled in the statement of interest in Saudi Arabia, can we go to the U.S. on our visitor visa and have an interview? No, you can't. You can't. Who are you going to have an interview with on a visitor visa? Who are you going to have an interview with? Are you? I don't understand your question, Michelle. Is your question that you have a visa to visit the United States right now and you're planning on coming to the United States and you've also put in a statement of interest? Is that your point? If that's the case, then what you have to do is take your vacation, come to the United States. If they contact you while you're here, tell them that you came to the U.S. on a visit, on a visa, and ask if it's possible for you to be interviewed in the States. They may make an exception. There isn't a lot of text, so you filled up a lot of text there, so I had to divine and analyze what you're saying, Michelle. Did I hit it correctly? President Trump's helicopter pilot's a woman. I didn't know that. Marissa says, feels sad. Don't know if it's better to leave sooner. Gustav LaRue, welcome to you. Highly doubt that now car guards that worked on planes or fighting fires for 30 years are now forced to car guards because they need to feed a family. Still knows how to do this stuff. It doesn't take much to get boned up. Fundamental gave 5 memberships. Mark Myberg, hey, judging by the constant same refugee questions, it appears the car guard statement might be justified. The way they tag people in the comments on multiple social media platforms is another example of how much they hate white people. Well, yeah. Recently discovered your channel. Thank you very much for what you do. It's been extremely informative and eye-opening. Well, thank you for that random stuff. Ronaldo's video attorney is about him saying the fact that white people exist is a crime against humanity. I saw a video. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. And then some idiot black guy. I saved it. Where's this at? Let me see if I download it. Hang on a second. I think I downloaded this video earlier. I got to get past the Trump images because I made that music video. I thought I downloaded it. Where's it at? There it is. Yeah. Is this what you're talking about? Is this one you're talking about, or is this something different? And you get this stupid black racist who comes on here, shaming black people with this idiocy. Here you go. So this is with TikTok, obviously.
Means white people cannot have Ubuntu. And that means white people are not human.
That is correct. White people cannot have Ubuntu. And that's not our fault. That's your fault. White people lost their humanity a long time ago. Long before we ever started singing.
Yeah, shut up. You're a racist. You're an idiot. You're a fool. Yeah. So is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, I decided not to play that at the beginning of this show. I decided not to play that. Yeah, why sing a struggle song when the struggle was over 31 years ago? If you're allowed to sing a struggle song, why can't you fly a flag that you have pride in that was created in the early part of the 20th century? Decades before apartheid even existed. Dylan, no, that's not the one. Okay, wrong video. Well, sorry. That one I came across. And then Veroshka says, yes, that one. I've seen these videos because it just adds the file for the interview. Exactly. Take these videos with him. You see this? This is why I have fear. Yep. Genocide is the act of willfully destroying a group. Yep. Fly the flag. Arctic only, what's this? Statement of interest so far, no form of application. I don't have any. There are, Gabi, why are you asking Arctic? There is no statement. There is nothing. There's no application. It's a statement of interest. That's all there is. And that's how people are coming to America. That's it. The applications and the documents you need are things that will be handled when you go for an interview. I don't know about any lawyer, so. You won't believe what this attorney said about white people. Okay. Okay, there it is. I didn't see that. Let me check that one out. Ronaldo's got an ad here, so I got to get through the ad first. I'll just briefly see what this video is about. So, He doesn't. The guy's not saying anything. The whole video, he's just talking about him. Where does he say anything? He doesn't have my video say anything, so I don't know what he saw. So anyway, yeah, no, they're just making it easier to prove your case. What's your opinion on misinformation being spread over social media about refugees murdering his wife? A refugee? That's nonsense. There wasn't a refugee. Who said that, Kathy? This is a Cape Tonian and his wife who are here, and he murdered her. Those are people living in America. They're nothing to do with the refugee program. Nothing to do. I haven't even heard that nonsense. Where did you hear that at? That's a new one on me, Kathy. I never heard that story. Neil Koglenberg says government South is going to expropriate the pension funds. Yeah, Neil, I said that 5 years ago. Please help me. Do you know who can help me, Chris? I'm under a sonic microwave attack. Sent you a mail. No, Derek, I don't know who can help you with that. I don't know who can help you with that. Made the big step online, says Christo. You will be shocked. By that video? Steve Millerant. Ronaldo has that racist lawyer. Maybe that's that one. Yeah, Chinese can feel the tension rising. I noticed it already when I was in South Africa, and that's what I talked about. Can you work for the U.S. government? Sure, I can work for the U.S. government, Ed Reed. I have a top secret security clearance. I can work for the U.S. government. Or do you mean you can work for the U.S. government? Not in a classified position, but you can work in the U.S. government if you have the authority to work in America. Refugees have work permission, so you can work for the U.S. government, but you won't work in a classified field. Did anyone see that legal? Okay, God bless it. You guys are on about that video. Majority only have 3 words in the upstairs. Saw not far from Brits was another attack, and the police phoned at 3. When it happened, they got there around 11. Yeah, that's what I heard. What's my opinion of living in Minnesota? Don't have a very good one, Micah. It's beautiful upstate in the Lake District area, but it's run by a bunch of leftists, and it's flooded by Somalis and Hmong and all these other people who refuse to become Americans. So I have no interest in going to Minnesota. I've been there. Doesn't impress me. Missed a farm murder within 3 weeks. Says I was relocated back. The elderly woman who was blind was bound and savagely beaten. Her son beaten to death by a brick when he investigated. Many crickets. Whoever does the interviews must be having nightmares by now. No doubt, Amazon, Texas. No doubt after hearing all these horror stories. Apparently, we are not allowed to take any technology into the interview, not even a smartwatch. Probably not, Chrisette, because you're going into a classified area. We can't have you taking things in there and recording it and then sharing it with the world. You think everybody that goes there is legitimate? There's fraudsters going there. There's spies going there from the South African government pretending to be people looking to go on a refugee program. You think that the South African government hasn't done that? Think about that. Think about it for a second there, okay? What's the difference between Titanic and South Africa? When the Titanic went down, its lights were on. That's a good one. Why are all these idiots so obsessed with white folks? Because they're just twisted. Okay, I got more stuff here I'm missing. God bless it. Okay, there we go. Catching up. Hey, Golden Kruger. Thanks for information. To see you on my screen now. Last time I saw you was in Cape Town. Yeah, Lucille. Then you haven't been watching my streams. Been back for 2 weeks. JP Nardia says a friend had a knife thrust in his rear. They thrust the blade repeatedly. He survived, but were never the same. Assault and robbery. Exactly. Not attempted murder. Francois Thron, welcome to you. Louise Stoltz. Ubuntu is the fiber of humanity. The term refers to do unto others. So obviously, according to them, we're not human. Exactly. That statement says everything right there. The statement of interest system cause a bottleneck. How will this in-person vetting system handle thousands? Gabi, that's how it's done. That's the law. If you don't like it, then don't show your statement of interest. Whether you're a refugee from Chad or a refugee from Sudan or from Somalia or from Myanmar, you have to do the process. You have to be interviewed. We have a responsibility to protect American citizens, not bring scumbags like that Palestinian Islamist the Egyptian Palestinian Islamists who frickin', murdered people, murdered Jews yesterday. We have a responsibility not to bring those people in the country. So that's how it goes. How can the system do it? Because we've done it before. We've done it before. We brought 3.1 million people to this country under this program. Take a deep breath. Do you know, based on the form field and how many months a person can leave if they put a filter that prioritizes interviews? Oriental cats, no, we don't know that. We just know that helps them determine the sequence of flow for people who are approved. It doesn't mean if you do your statement of interest, say, well, I'll leave in 12 months, so they just wait 12 months to interview. That's just asinine. They're going to handle them as they come in. According to Dr. DeCulk, they classify the farm attacks for the state stats as robbery, apparently. Okay, maybe we're talking about a different DeCulk. There was a DeCulk I heard was an idiot. Housemaid feared for her life. She told us how NC slit throats. Yep. Just note that attorneys take an oath to protect Constitution. This guy basically said a white person is a crime against humanity. Okay, well, the 180,000 whites losing their jobs is a totally different topic there, Serena. LB, did I watch the Sharks game? My goodness, guys. I have a channel called Rugby Ascendant. Okay? Rugby Ascendant. And, oh boy, did I watch it? Yes, I covered it live, play-by-play and color commentary. Okay? I guess people don't know about my channel. I've only been promoting it for years. Sharks Monster, here we go. Leinster will play in Leinster next week. The Bulls will host one of these two teams. Jordan Hendrickson will get us started. Here's the kick. Going down inside the 22. Let's take him back there. Gavin Coombs. Now they're going the opposite 30-meter line. 1-1. That bent almost didn't make it. All right, now we go to the wings. Now from the right hash mark, it's Jordan Hendrickson. Jordan Hendrickson goes for the kick. From the right side. Players aren't on a clock. They take all the time they want. He's got it. 2 for 2. Sharks. Yeah, he won the Curry Cup. Official saying something about that. He ran his mouth when Henderson said one thing. Ethan Hooker. That's a good call. I would pick the under Easthuizen. Anyway, not my best, but it was a hell of a game. I covered that. Rugby Ascendant. Rugby Ascendant, folks. Yep, 8,600 subscribers. And if you don't mind, go become a subscriber. We have 1,400 people here. Wouldn't it be great if we gained a whole bunch of subscribers? There's the link. Just open it up and go become a subscriber. I'll be covering the Bulls and the Sharks game this weekend. Okay, there you go. Spreading on TikTok is terrible. I tried to tell in the comments it's not true, and a friend made a video saying it's not true. Well, that will spread lies. That's what people do in South Africa. They spread lies. It's a recording. Okay, well, I'll have to listen to it then. Ed Reed says, thanks for asking my question. Ed, I did. Sorry, I missed that. Okay, Ronaldo is here. No, he's not here. Ronaldo's got his own broadcast going on. Brother stays in Minnesota is thinking maybe Iowa due to Minnesota being a blue state. Iowa's like Minnesota. I used to live in Iowa. It's pretty safe there. Please, Chris, try listen to the audio clip. I will. Okay, Colonel, are you supporting the Bulls? Bulls. I'm watching a replay of the Sharks game and commentary from the Colonel. Sharks will have to do much better against the Bulls. Yep, that's what you're watching, Daniel. Colin says, I'm near Houston. I live north of Lake Conroe. It's a nice area. So it's Fort Worth as well. Stay out of Dallas and Austin. Yeah, they are. How would we bring video evidence to said embassy if we can't bring devices? Okay, well then print out a screenshot from it and take it with you and said, this the video. Here's the link. Put the URL. Gosh, guys, you got to use a little imagination here, Sigma. That video, print one page, do a screen capture, print that, put the URL, describe what it was, give that to them, okay? You're not going to have to prove anything. I mean, it's going to be easy. Barbie has a broken finger. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Rochelle. Okay, what do you think about the Islamic State? I have Venant Dutoy. I've talked about it. I've not done a video on it, so I've talked about it. I think it's an abomination. The man's wanted by the United States. Your stepsister lives in Houston. The other's in Florida. Okay. Okay. Andre says, watch the show with Ronaldo. It was clips that he played of attorney in La Popa. The things that the guy said to white people was totally... Yeah, of course it's racist. Nothing will happen. As a Stormer, you can't support the Bulls. It's akin to high treason. Well, JJ Pretorius, the Stormers aren't in the playoffs. What am I supposed to do? Not watch, not support South Africa? Do you think they will ramp up the numbers of refugees in the remainder of the year? They've already ramped it up, Con. They've already ramped it up. Links change. Well, Sigma, yeah, okay, so you're just going to give up and not do it? Fine, okay, then don't do it. Then don't just go there and go, oh, I want to leave because I can't get a job. Do that then. Don't take my advice. Links change. Of course they change. It's one of the problems with the internet, man. It's a YouTube channel called On Scene. They govern accidents. So much drunk driving. Houston, California. I've not seen that. Yeah, how did Barbie break her finger? Who did she punch? Arctic says, I'm supposed to support sharks. Never. They stole Ebenetzabeth and Sia Khaleesi, so never supporting them. Bill says, I'm taking screenshots of the bursaries. They said they give preference. Exactly. There you go. There you go, Bill. All our family lives in Lebanon, Tennessee, but not sure about it. Well, Tennessee's a nice place. They stay in a log wood cabin next to a lake. Yeah, well, you can do that in Michigan. You can do that in Alaska. You can do all kinds of places. Farmhouses became slaughterhouses. Well, that's a sad story. Desmond Diaz. Hey, Colonel, I know you are a busy man and a rugby lover, but do you have time to play Super Brew? I do Super Brew, but I've missed a few this year because of my travel. So let me go to my Super Brew. I have a lot of certificates for performing very well in Super Brew, but I've been so busy the past year or so. Yeah, so it says 48 tournaments. I got 3,200 caps in Super Brew. Yeah, so certificates, I haven't got certificates everywhere, but in 2024, I got 5 certificates for Major League Rugby. I finished 24th in the world, Major League Rugby, 6th place in the U.S. So I was the 6th best selector of who wins in Major League Rugby last year. I got the runner-up in my pool, 3rd place in another one, and 3rd place in a 3rd one. So I must have been some stiff competition because that's 3 guys who beat me, or 2, 4, 5 people who beat me, and I'm in 6th place in the U.S., so they must have been in my pools. And then the Rugby Championship Predictor, I got top 10 global finish, 21st in the U.S., top 10 in all South Africa fans for predicting the Rugby Championship in 2024. 2023, Major League Rugby, top 10 global finish. And then URC, top 10 global finish, 33rd United States, top 5 in DHL Stormers fans in making correct predictions in 2023. 2021, I've got 9 top 10% global finish for Rugby Championship, 17th in the U.S., top 10 for South Africa fans, and the runner-up in my pool that I was in, the Animated Cormorants. Then Curry Cup, I was a champion in my league. And then in 2021, I finished in the top 2% globally for the November Internationals, 5th place in the United States, and I was a runner-up in my pool, the Colossal Wombats, and top 2% of South Africa fans. So there you go. So there you go, folks. I got all kinds of certificates. I have 9, 10, 13, 16, 21 certificates for my participation since 2021 in Super Brew. Yes. But I've missed a lot of games this year, particularly for New Zealand, and also I missed some of the URC games because I couldn't get into to change the settings. Trolls trying, but messages just gone in seconds. Well done, mods. Okay, I haven't seen the trolls. Where are the trolls at? Okay, let's see. We support, what's this? Farmer from the Popa reported missing He was last seen heading to cattle kraal. His body was later found. Yeah, there you go. There's a black farmer killed. Tembo S-Box says Tembo Motha attacked and killed. Yep. Partner assault in the bedroom. Yeah. See, well, where are you guys getting the information from? I haven't seen any of these reports in the news. That's a nice Super record so far. Thank you, Conrad. Yeah. This coming Saturday, I'm shouting Stormers, even if it's a replay of other games. You made the Sharks game more entertaining with all the Sharks' mistakes. I think the ref is still feeling your wrath. He should. Mark says you never support the Bulls. Well, I'm a South Africa rugby supporter, so you can see I'm wearing old school right here with Springboks on here. So, yep. Did Tom McDonald subscribe to the channel? I would have no idea, Steve. I don't get notified who subscribes to my channel unless it happens during the live stream. Lucky, what's this? But I haven't heard from Tom McDonald. Would love to hear from him. He's awesome. I'd love to do a video with him. You should live in Utah. Well, there aren't good old boys in Utah. That's not a country state. I'm not watching local game international for 2 seasons. I do not support teams due to people being chosen color, not for talent. Huh. And the lights all went down in Massachusetts. Huh? Looking at getting into the rugby scene once I hopefully arrive, coaching or maybe scouting. It's not lucrative. It pays very poorly. If you're looking to make money in rugby, you're not going to make money here. Maybe 10 years down the road, but not now. What are your opinion of USA pastor? I did a video on that, Sanel. Again, people, please watch my content. I did a video on that. Yeah, Pastor Mark Burns. And only 10,000 people watched it. Only 10,000 people watched it. Independent Online that runs a story today talking about how an American pastor who knows nothing about South Africa and has never been to South Africa to my knowledge is suddenly the expert on the term white genocide. Now, the media's obsession with this is comical. Pastor Mark Burns, an evangelical leader who once worked at McDonald's and then founded a church and became a televangelist, to my knowledge, has never been to South Africa. But he's visiting South Africa, and he firmly refuted claims of a white genocide, asserting that such allegations are not backed by the realities on the ground. Really? And how exactly do you come to this conclusion? Does my channel have Super Brew Pool? Yes, I do Super Brew Pools for my channel. I don't think we have any currently right now. Let me look and see if I'm captain of any. Captaincies, let's see. Major League Rugby, yep. I've got that one. And Matt Canale's in second place. Only 9 of us in it this year. Used to have like 30 people in these things. People lost interest. So we got that one. And then Rugby Ascendant URC pool. Yep, we got 33 people in that pool. And because I've been so busy and not paying attention, I really slid. I got the wooden spoon because I didn't make any picks. Yeah. I'm 20th. I used to be in the top 3. I'm in the 20th because I was traveling and I couldn't get picks in. So, yep. So I lost a lot of points. Yep. So, yeah. But we have the Rugby Ascendant pool. So, manage pool. So, hang on a second here. Invitation. Members. Settings. Where's the invite people? I always have a hard time finding it. Invite players. There it is. Come on. Got it. So here it is. But yes, I have a pool. We do it for the internationals, the URC. Yeah, so we do those all the time. So that's Super Brew. Okay. Have you watched Hustler's Corner podcast with Ronaldo yet? No, I haven't, Lindy. It just came out. Have you watched my appearance on there? I think you did. Rugby is huge in the U.S. It's huge. It's just at club level, and it's just getting started professionally. It's only been 5 or 6 years. Talking about pastors, you see that kidnapped American pastor Josh Sullivan said that he was saved by accident in a second. No, I didn't see that. If you go to the interview, do they tell you immediately if you're approved? No, they don't, Michelle, because Debunking may have to do a second or third interview. Rob Hersoff posted a great truth video today. Is that already on Business? I didn't know it was already on. Yep. I didn't know if it was already on Business. Okay, hang on. Wow. So Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with Truth Report because I've given them several videos and they haven't been posted, so I'm starting to get a little annoyed. Truth Report. Okay. Yeah, I still have just one video on there. I've given them 3 videos, so I don't know what to say. And then Rob Hersoff was on business. I was on business too. Okay. So is mine already on there? Let's see. Yep. They keep putting it down incorrectly. I've asked them to put it. You don't put retired in front of my title. Yeah. That's anyway. Anyway. Yeah, I was coughing during the thing. I tried not to make it loud. So. Yep.
Somebody leaked the information, unfortunately, and it's led to the outing of many people and death threats against their family members, their property being...
Yeah, 5 dislikes. Bunch of hate wankers. Anyway, check your mail when you can. Just go, let me know. Milk and Honey, I did check my mail and sent you a response earlier. What is leasable farmland generally available in the U.S.? Would ownership be a better option? Well, good luck, Snuggles. Are you wealthy? I can't afford to buy farmland. I can't afford to buy any land. Land here goes for outrageous amount of money. I've looked at land out west, and it's cheap, but it's not near anything. It's isolated. Yeah, so I'm impressed on how well the USA Sevens team has been doing. They're terrible. What are you talking about how they're doing? The Sevens, they came in like last. Almost became a Stormer supporter watching the Sharks first half. Alfonso, that's good. That's good. Gary Gold did some great rugby work there. Oh, he told you it's tough to sell. Yeah, I've interviewed Gary, and before he was released by the Bulls, I talked to him again. Yeah, I thought Gary did a great job here. I thought that he fell on his sword when it was actually the player, the idiot, who came in and charged in from the side entry and overturned a penalty by coming in late, and it cost us the game against Chile and a World Cup berth. That's unfortunate. 110,000 subscribers. I'm not even 100,000 yet, and you're a little ahead of yourself. Christmas trees, multi-billion-dollar industry in Oregon. Farmers, well, Christmas trees are right down the road here. We have a Christmas tree farm just about 4-5 kilometers from here. Yak Wolf says, thank you for what you do for us. I hope that Mr. President Trump watches your stuff. I hope he does too. When you're a refugee, you won't have a choice where you go. Did that get deleted? I was reading something and it just disappeared. Why are people deleting things like that? I don't understand that. My mods are taking people down. The DJ of Toronto on DJ Spoo was so irritating. Nota never gave her no chance to talk. Oh, it was an interview with Nota. Well, that's not how it went with me. I got to talk. Did you watch my interview with Nota? I got plenty of talking in. Amanda, did you see the one with me? Okay. Do a podcast about the quota system in South African rugby. It's an assault of black players who are in Team of Merit. It is, Buster, but I mean, that's not going to do anything. That video is not going to do anything. I'll put a lot of effort into it and it'll go nowhere. Kathy's thank you for the invitation. You will see at least 100 tents in your lawn. There's no invitation. Yeah, Christmas tree farms in almost every state. Yep. 2 of them within 10-minute drive of my house. Yep. 58-year-old man, what careers are there for ex-cops and security professionals? Tons of work there, Americaners. Lives matter. Tons of work. Tons of work. Discovered hobby farms when I was searching for properties. Never heard of that before. Yeah. You should do a video with the Sama Sambit. I was the first to interview the Sama Sambit. Where is Sai Sai? I don't know. Marissa said you thought Note was a bit careful with me. Perhaps. Cross is on the Feld. Just watched it. Okay. It was awesome. I watched everything. Well, thank you, Amanda. They were very kind of you. I appreciate that. Good to know, says America. Yeah, America, there's jobs here, man. And you work in those fields, lots of jobs. Look, I mean, I could go take all kinds of jobs right now, but I'm not interested in them. And Rakes enjoyed my interview. Thank you. Colonel Wyatt has weaponry. Thank you, Lynette. Some people didn't like it. They were disappointed that I went on there. So, Yannicka says, do you have natural gas in your home? Yes, I do. Your husband and you are both natural gas installers looking forward. Looks like there's a lot of natural gas. Yeah, well, I mean, we have tons of natural gas. We have more reserves than pretty much anybody in the world, except for maybe Algeria and Dubai, one of the Middle East countries. Yeah, we have massive natural gas reserves. We're finding more here all the time. Yeah, we have natural gas here. It's piped in, so I pay Columbia Gas. 1:30. What's the reminder for, Charlie? Did I need to ask for a reminder because I'm going or something? I don't remember. What's the reminder for? No squatters. How is Michigan? It's all right. What would you recommend for a 24-year-old who wants to join the military? Well, I'm biased. I would say join the Army. The Marines are a fine organization too, but you get fewer options. The Army's all over the place. Currently missed my application last night. Can I become your car guard? Nope. Sent you an example for you to say yay or nay, Munir. Check it after the show. Oh, okay, gotcha. Behave myself. Hey, Erica, what's going on? Okay, you are South Africa like I'm America. Okay. I think it's awesome. I need nature and space. Okay. Many people ask because this is community and real life experiences, not only search engine results. Mods need to chill, says Gabi. Poor Noto was scared witless. I don't know about that. But I thought it was, I was caught by surprise, and so I had no idea that was happening. And no, my nips are intact. Oh. Lisa, you're just the best. We missed you in South Africa already. Well, I tell you what, I miss the excitement of being there. I don't miss the flu bug I picked up. I still got. Yeah, but I do miss some really good meals, that's for sure. Hey, Hannes Holzhausen, how you doing there? All right, so we delete the fake statements, repeat questions, and then answer the repeat questions. Yep, there you go. So that's what Arctic is doing. Sure, Nota knew was on. Okay. Terrible news from Colorado. So sad the world is full of mentally disturbed people. That's not mental disturbed. These people are terrorists. That's not mental disturbed. Sounds like you're spoiled for choice. Yeah, no, I am, Jason. Lots of opportunities. Like I said, I've turned down 4 or 5 jobs, all north of $200,000 a year. So over 4 million rand per year in the past 18 months alone. And I'm not even looking for it. These are people who came looking for me. South Dakota is lovely. It reminds me a lot of the Highveld, except you won't like the winters. You won't like the winters. Any poll tonight? I hadn't thought about a poll tonight. To have natural gas, says Chan. Okay. What's your symptoms? Congestion, lung congestion, mucus, not going away. And I had slight muscle aches and chills, but I defeated that pretty quickly. But I didn't start doing the night owls again until I felt well enough, which was a couple nights ago. So now I'm doing the night owls again. Renate, what's going on? Graphic design. Last job my son did for a company, they had a rendering farm. The file was so huge. Okay. Do you think the Netherlands are perhaps also going to take? No, I don't. I'd be surprised. It's not COVID or swine flu. Stop. Here we go with the home remedies again. Yeah, exactly. How late is the night owls in South Africa? Well, it's morning, Chris. It used to be afternoon here. I used to do it, take a break, come back and do the night owls. But now I'm doing a late night one where I answer more of the refugee questions. But the night owls is at 11 p.m. for me, which is 5 a.m. for you. You reporting a refugee was denied work as soon as possible. Employers heard the person was South Africa. Is this person successful in securing employment? That's not exactly what I said. That's not exactly what I said. What I said is that when they heard the person was from South Africa, that was pretty much the end of the interview. I wouldn't say it's denied work. They never got an application in, so I don't have an update on that person. My mom's a doctor. My mom's a doctor. We need you. I'll survive. Most states up north are okay if you want your car as an ice cube in the morning. Well, that's why I have a remote start button on my key fob. And I start my car remotely. Just push that button right there twice. Doop, doop. And the car starts. And then by the time I go out to the car, it's warm. Rian van File, welcome to you. Carl Chris, it was the first time I saw on past Saturday game of the Sharks that they had to have a kick out. It's the first time it's ever happened in the URC. Yep. What was my favorite meal in South Africa? Oh, I had two truly amazing meals. One of them was at Forrester's in Newlands. My goodness, that meal was unbelievable. And then where was the other one at? Gosh, I had another just absolutely amazing meal. I took a picture of it too. I don't have it on my phone anymore, but yeah. Managed a cat 5 minutes this morning before leaving for work. Huh? No, you don't remote start your car in South Africa. Of course not. It's set on New Jersey. Good luck with that, Antoinette. Have fun. You can have New Jersey. Members of the Dutch Parliament asking questions. Yes, I did see that. My wife says I must stop watching this channel. She already spent our first pay at Walmart in her dreams. Yeah, Forrester's is such a great vibe. Really nice. The food was amazing. And the staff was pretty good there. I went there for a 6-1 Mech Battalion reunion, and I took Jordan with me. Jordan, the kid from Boat Revere, went with me, and we went to the Stormers game that day. And so he rode up with me in the nice SUV that Avis gave me. We got there, and we went to Forrester's for the 6-1 Mech Battalion. It was pretty awesome. They gave me some nice stuff. Very kind of them. And it was nice to meet with them. Then I ran into actually some other 6-1 Mech Battalion veterans in different times around the country, which was pretty interesting. But that food was unbelievable. It was such a great meal. And I'm trying to remember where the other great meal was. I had a really fantastic another meal. It was just unbelievable. It was amazing. Carolina's same symptoms, okay? It's not the weather, it's the virus. It's just you're more susceptible because your immune system is fighting to stay warm. What was this place Centurion called? It was a golf place. I don't remember the name of it, Steve. Have you been to Shady Maple in East Earl? No. Never heard of it. Would a permanent resident in South Africa and married to South citizen be considered? Lynette Taylor, if a person from South Africa you're married to is granted refugee status and they're head of household, you're going to get it too. They don't split nuclear families. Hey, Gideon, what's going on? You missed everything, man. We're about to wrap up. My friends want me over there by yesterday. The hail season are upon them and they need help. Hail? There's no hail. What are you talking about? In Greenland, I had an ex-Swedish tracked vehicle that I would remote start using my cab. Well, yeah. No. In Greenland, you probably need that. Missed the days when we had the old mods. What do you mean the old mods? Eric is here. Arctic is here. Wesley de Klerk is laughing. Wonder if Ron Posen went to visit the White Cross Memorial. Nope. How do you think the South African story ends? Will we ever see the nonsensical race laws being scrapped? Not as long as the DA is complicit in the government national unity. Nope. Yes, people put pennies and nickels on military friends' graves. That's true. Rebecca says you're the best. Well, thank you, Rebecca. It's very kind of you. It's the ANC virus. I don't know about that. My son... It's going 5 days before it got to that point he had to do changes. I don't know what you're talking about. Rabid running. Should I sell my mother-in-law now? Oh, well, you sell her whenever you like. Teresa, thank you. Yeah, you can sell your mother-in-law. You know, I think your mother-in-law is probably going to do this to you. I'm just saying, Rabid Bunny. I think your mother-in-law is going to do this. You got a cousin in Miami. Okay. Vibes and Drives. Thank you, Utopi. That's right. It was Vibes and Drives. That was the name of the place. Yep. Mr. Little Jean, do you know if they're picking randomly or if they're going down the list of people? No, I don't know. I don't know. I would imagine they probably went in the order things came in. They probably throw out the fake ones, and then they call people up. Vote Cape exit. Okay. Get rid of the DA, vote Western Cape. Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Just completed 7 animation. Took 4 months to complete. Good Lord, that's crazy. Just popping in to say hello. Truly sad in hearing the tragic news. Yes, Ingrid. All right, I'm glad you're here. Okay. What virus? Haha. Wonder if Ramaphosa went to visit. No, okay, I already read that. Corey, thank you for the 28 Rand super chat. And Mr. BTCR, thank you for your subscription. Vas de Hassi. Well, the Hassi's right here. I just showed him to you on the screen. There he is. There's the Hassi right there. Yes, thank you, El Marie Swart. Charles Van Onselen. How's the hamster? Nick Gross. Is Nick here? I didn't see Nick. Braun is off. Let me just check on something here really quickly. Yeah, I don't know. About some of the stuff you guys are asking. Answering as best I can. Tomorrow we got Iconic with Canth Van Pillay. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow we have. Yep. So you guys are welcome to check it out tomorrow. Canthan will be on with me tomorrow. We'll be talking about a lot of things. So. Falling to resettle in South Africa from being here from another country for many years, even worth trying. I don't know the answer to that, Pickle. I don't think it is. You're not a South African national, so it's not going to count. If you're a South African citizen, different story. It says you have to be a South African citizen. That's a non-negotiable. Unless you're married to a South African citizen, I suppose. The Truth Channel. The Truth Channel. Really? There's something called the Truth Channel? Let's check out this Truth Channel. Pure power cord. Well, thank you for being here. Which states have a high demand for carpentry? Every state. I would like to thank my middle finger for standing up for me. All right. And with that, I think it's probably enough. We're going to wrap up. Now, should we stay a little bit longer? I'm addicted to Colonel Wyatt. He's awesome. Gives up for the future. You guys are killing me there. You're killing me. I don't do the live color commentary and play-by-play on U.S. sports. No, I don't. I used to watch ice hockey here, but my teams are out of it. The Hershey Bears are out in the American Hockey League. The championship's about to be finished. They won back-to-back championships, but they didn't make it this year. And they had a better season than the previous 2 years. They still did make it. Then Vegas Golden Knights is my team on the other side, and then Colorado, they're both out. All right, 35,000 the back of buddy. Thank you for sharing that. Let's double check on it. Yeah, 35,008. Is it still there? Okay. Dennis the Menace has an evil twin brother. Nope. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up here. You'll be directed over to Ronaldo. We're still 539 away from 100,000 subscribers, folks. Okay, so you're near Brits, says Corne Pretorius. Okay. We may be at the G20. We'll wait and see. It determines whether I cover it or not. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. We got 1,400 likes. That's pretty cool. Appreciate that. Thanks, everybody. You're going to be taking over Ronaldo if you want to go there. Cheers.